pretty early. What sort of adjustments did your coaching staff, Hank and Billy, make, and the players themselves, so you could run your offense the rest of that game?
Yeah, when you go into a game and you lose 2 players in one position, it's never easy. We've gone through that once already this year, and it certainly makes things very difficult, especially, at the offensive line. Those guys working together with a lot of communication, a lot of different groups and personnels defensively that they have to identify and talk through. But really through the course of the week of practice, I think our guys do a great job of everybody preparing. We play a lot of guys in practice itself, especially on Wednesdays when we have those situations when we're in pads and we can kind of put different guys in positions to, work on their fundamentals, the team setting. And, I think those guys did a great job all week of that, and really in the game, I think it transferred over into the game. And, there were some things early on when those guys got in there that we had to settle down a little bit. I thought everybody did a great job at halftime of kind of just saying, hey, what do we want to run? What do we feel comfortable with? What do we like? And, what's kind of in the wheelhouse of what we want to try to do going forward. So great job by the players, just going out and being ready to go. Certainly, we had some moving parts, but I think those guys did a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
Go Tim next.
Hey, Matt, thanks for taking the time. When you looked at the film defensively, Romeo talked about it a little bit that there were probably even some more opportunities to make some plays after watching the film. But, holding them to 44 yards and the pressure that you got, just how happy were you overall with the performance from those guys on defense?
Yeah, I think those guys played really hard on defense. I think they tried to step up to a challenge that we knew was going to be difficult against Jacksonville's run game. And I thought they executed well in those situations. We had some good fundamental plays on tape, which was nice. Definitely some things that we had been working on the last couple of weeks that showed up. Pad level, hand placement, a couple of different guys in some different positions that we thought maybe fit better to some of the things that we saw that were good, and try to get them in those positions as much as possible. So I thought those guys handled that really well. Definitely thought we missed some opportunities, though. I agree with Romeo, and we probably had some opportunities out there that we should have capitalized on better. But, like I said, kind of after the game, give Jacksonville credit, give Minshew credit. He's a tremendous athlete. He's really hard to tackle, and certainly I think, made some plays when he had the opportunity. But, just was pleased with the effort. Thought the guys played hard. That's the biggest thing. Thought they really went out and tried to execute at a high level. So hopefully we can do that again this week.
And just to follow up, because you mentioned it there at the end, Atlanta obviously has some pretty dangerous weapons on the offensive side of the football. Just how does a performance like this give your guys confidence heading into a performance like that? And can you build off a performance like that and take it into the next week?
Yeah, we certainly try to, make sure that we, we put an emphasis on building from one week to the next. But we do understand that the opponents are different, and everything that they do may not transcend one week to the next. Atlanta's got phenomenal players. They've, it starts with a quarterback. Obviously, he's great. Julio Jones, he's one of the best in the league. Ridley is obviously phenomenal. So, it's another big challenge for us. They obviously had a, huge game yesterday, very explosive game. And, that'll be a whole different challenge for us this week. So, hopefully we can just go out, put a good week of practice together and go out and play well next Sunday.
Thanks, Matt.
Stoney?
Two things. How important, it might have been little in the game, but you guys started out and 3 and out for them. How important is that, leading, the rest of the game to get that confidence going? That's number one. And number two, situationally at the end of the half, how do you go about deciding, this is me nitpicking a little bit, but 8 seconds left, what's the harm of, Stafford maybe rolling out and trying to Hail Mary to run out the clock as opposed to just punting? How do you decide to do that or not do that?
Yeah, I'll go backwards in order there. There's a certain time element to that last play that you're talking about. So just felt that we might have been just on the edge of that time length, and it was better for us just to, have a good play. And we knew we had the ball to start the second half. So that was kind of that decision there. Certainly, it's always good to start the game, 3 and out. That's what you want to do on defense, and you want to start fast. So that's always positive. But it's kind of funny. It's one of those goals where you say, all right, we want to start fast. Let's go 3 and out. And then once it's over, you move on. It's like, okay, all right, what's the next thing we want to do? And certainly, start the second half. We want to be able to do the same thing, go 3 and out. But that was a big series for us to start the second half, to be able to kind of, be in the situation we were in and keep them out of points. So.
It seemed like you guys hit harder. I don't know if violence is the right word, but it seemed a little different this week. Was that a focus at all?
I would just say, just give the players credit. I thought they played really hard. I really thought they played hard.
Thank you.
Go Chris next.
Afternoon, Matt. How you doing?
Great.
So sort of on that 3 and out, I guess you had John Pennicini in there with the starting group, and it seemed like that freed you up a little bit to move Danny and maybe Nick Williams, some guys around up there. Just wondering what John brings specifically, and then sort of what he does allow you to do with those other guys there.
Yeah, I mean, I think John has done a good job all the way through from camp and just really steadily improving, and I think that's something that we saw. His play was able to get better and through some of the practices that we've had, and thought it was good to put him kind of in the middle and see how that anchored some things for us to allow those other guys, like you said, to move around and maybe be in some different positions. So it was good to see. I thought he played well. He's strong. He can play very low to the ground. He does a good job with his hand placement. And, it was good to see for his first chance to get a lot of reps out there and play really well. So, we'll see how that goes going forward. But, I was proud of him for going out and competing hard.
And then another guy up there, Trey Flowers, I'm not sure how much more he could have done for you in that game yesterday. Just going back now that you had a chance to look at it again, wondering what you thought of his performance.
Yeah, I mean, Trey's someone that shows up every single week and does stuff that you're just like, it's like almost clinic-like teaching, phenomenal play on the edge. They ran the stretch over to him. He sets the edge on the tight end and knocks the line of scrimmage back by 2 yards. And, escapes off the play and makes a really violent tackle. That was phenomenal. He had a great rush off the edge, obviously, and turned the ball over, the strip sack, which was great. I'd say one of my more favorite plays I saw was, he actually had a play where he was in coverage. There was a crosser coming from the other side, and I mean, he looked like he'd been doing that naturally all the time. So maybe less coaching is better right there because he played that thing phenomenal. So I just think that he's a guy that pays attention to the details. He goes out, he works extremely hard every single day to just be the best that he can be. And I think it's a great example for everybody that's around him of how you need to approach every single week. You don't know what plays are going to impact the game, but just go out and do the best you can that play. And, if it's not a great play, then go out and do the best you can on the next play. And, I think that's just how he is. That's how he's wired. So that was good to see.
Sorry. And just real quick, did you have any update on Julian Okwara? I don't think we got anything yesterday.
I don't have any updates right now.
Thanks, Matt.
Justin Rose.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm well. When last week there was some talk about maybe simplifying some things. Is there an example from the game that maybe it did look like the guys were a little more loose, kind of just going out there, understanding concepts and going and playing? Is there an example that pops off the page of a guy or a unit that did something to kind of, staple that home?
I thought really from the start with our kickoff coverage unit, I thought that was really good on those plays that we were able to cover and kind of pin them deep inside the 20. Some of that stuff I thought was simplified a little bit, and I thought those guys played really fast and aggressive. We had a big one to start the game. I thought we had another big one in the fourth quarter too, which kind of put, their offense on a long field. So that was really good to see from that standpoint. I thought some of the the things that we were trying to do both in the run game offensively and the run defense was maybe simplified a little bit, and maybe some of it was just coaching points and kind of maybe some of the different fits and some of the different blocking that we were doing up front that I thought kind of freed those guys up to play a little bit more aggressive.
And then momentum, it's funny, you guys don't want to ride the wave, but at the same time, you probably felt a little bit happier walking into the building this morning, and the guys were probably just building off what Tim had said. Do you believe that you can carry positive momentum week to week, or do you still try to keep that even keel, even if it's win or loss?
Yeah, I mean, I think you try to stay, you stay consistent, you stay even all the way through. But I mean, certainly you want to take what we were able to do yesterday and build on that. I think that's good for everybody just to have a little bit of confidence in some of the things that we were doing and be able to see it and, honestly see what I would call 2 weeks of work, really show up in the game. And that was really, I thought, great. The bye weeks are never easy. We thought it was a really good time for us to grind it out and really take a look at what, the first 4 games looked at. We really didn't have much of an opportunity to do that with the preseason, so we needed to do it. And I thought the guys took 2 weeks, which is always hard to do, and focused on really how do we get better, and that was really good to see. So hopefully we carry that over and try to string another good week of working behind it.
Thank you.
All right, Dave, last one.
Hey, Matt, just want to ask about Matt Nelson. I think, maybe it surprised some people when you kept him just because we hadn't seen his development. It really had been all behind sort of closed doors. But can you just explain a little bit how much he's developed since you got your hands on him as a defensive lineman really last year? The snaps that he was able to play, yesterday were obviously pretty big for you, and he played pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, just give him all the credit in the world. I mean, it's obviously pretty hard to believe he was playing defensive line, a couple years ago. And I think you've really seen a guy who took last year to transform his body, from maybe a defensive lineman into an offensive lineman with, some of the weightlifting and the strength and conditioning program that we did with him, and it was very specific, and I thought he did a phenomenal job with that. It's been a huge learning curve for him to switch sides of the ball, and I think he's done an outstanding job with that. And you can see some of the athleticism that shows up as defensive linemen sometimes are a little bit more athletic. You can see some of that transfer over, but I thought his ability to bend and move the line of scrimmage has been good. I think he's got a long way to go. There's some things in the game that happen really fast for him on that stance, and just some stuff that he just doesn't have the playing experience built up yet. But he's a guy that comes to work every day. He's the same. He works extremely hard. He's got a grinded out mentality. And, I was just really happy for him, to get out there and have an opportunity to go play and really show up in a positive way, for all the hard work that he's done. He's got a long way to go, but I mean, there's a lot of hard work just to get to the point where you could go out there and play the way he played yesterday. So, really proud of him for that.
And then just real quick, I think these are part of the COVID rules, protocols, or whatever. But are you guys completely virtual today? Is this any different than past Mondays had been for all the meetings?
We're, actually, some of those protocols changed with some of the daily testing and stuff like that that we're allowed to do. So we actually can do more hands-on stuff now, which is great from that aspect of it. Monday's a big day for us to get in and to be able to work out and kind of flush the body a little bit and do some things there to help us kick off the week with our strength and conditioning program. And, and then we roll through the meetings from there.
Okay. Just curious. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Guys, we'll have Frank Ragnow up right after this.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks. Take care.